Hi, Jignesh. 1 minute.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hi. Let me share my screen and we'll start for today. Okay. So we were looking into the particular part connecting. Yes, actually, then I realized the binding. Yeah, the how you bind the data with your HTML. So that we didn't see. So actually, I was considering that as HTML itself instead of binding because if you know the HTML, then it will be straightforward how to use it. Okay. As I told you, it's not like MVC. Okay, it's not like MVC that you need to know the binding separately. Okay, in MVC, you have to establish the binding between your controller and your view. Here it is not like that. It's very simple, straightforward. Um, we'll see to that in a minute. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Hmm. Mm, okay. So we saw that how to call an API. Okay, how to reach an API. How to pass the like maybe even if you need to pass any parameters to that API, you can pass it. Those things we all saw. Then how like how to run it? Like we have to run it using a multiple startup project. Like basically, else you have to deploy that particular API. Else you have to deploy that particular API project into any of your environment, and you should call that deployed domain. Okay, that's how it works. Okay. Uh, these all things you are clear now. You have any questions on them?
No.
Hmm. So those things we saw. So the next what we need to see is okay. Let's say you are getting the data. Okay, this is getting the data. Let's run and see. No, no. For me, it was throwing some other issue. We'll see. We'll get some other API. No? Test was not the one for me. The one without anything. We'll run and see. There is issue. We'll fix it. We'll try this. Okay. I don't know why it is throwing error. Okay. Hmm. Invalid column name ID. Hmm. A minute, we'll go to user master has ID or what? What is this table? User underscore master columns. I have user ID. Okay, that is fine. Then uh, somewhere we are trying to pull ID, which is not there actually. User ID only no. Yes, first name, last name, middle name. That's fine. Mm. Uh, See, the one that we made here, we have added an we saw this no in .NET Core. So we have a model builder where we can control the models. So what we did was we said that we have an for the user master, we said that we have a property which is like user ID, that is the um, index, and we said that that column has a column name of ID. So it is going and searching with the column name of ID instead of user ID, because but there is no ID here, no. So actually that's the problem. So we don't need this for now. We'll stop and we'll do that. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Oh, this is not working for me. Okay, I will show you something. See, my this one is not working. I will show you the data. Okay, that I will show you. See, there's one more way in Angular how to test. Let's say, now it is local, so you have the your debugger point going to your controller. Fine. Let's say you are testing in some dev environment or something like that. Okay. So at that time, you will not have the pointer going there, right? So in that point of view, if there is any issue or any error from the API, how will you find it out? Okay. So hit on networks, fetch. Uh, so go to network. See, your test has ran here. Your test is the see, it says member slash test, and it gives it 200. Okay, which means it is successful. You can go to response. Actually, it shows, but yeah, again there is some issue with my browser, and it is why it is throwing error. But yeah, this is how you check. You check basically. Uh, okay. Okay. Why? Because we are not returning any data. Correct. We are not returning any data. We are just sending. Okay. What we do is we return the data. Okay, first I'll test the this one. Okay, I have these things. Okay, done. I'll go to my front end. One second. So you see, here we have an issue actually. So that is why we are not seeing any data that is being returned. So actually, when I go back, okay, I'll tell you what's happening. Okay, so you see, even though everything is fine, okay, so the status says missing allow origin header. Okay, basically we need to make the app to accept course. Okay, so what is course? Okay, this is another important thing that we need to see. One second, but I forgot how to fix this. Okay. Course means cross origin request. Okay, yes. So basically, when an API is being hit from a different environment, okay. So if you see, you are hitting your API from an Angular project, no. So you're not directly using the API. You're not see if you are running the API internally. See, this is you are running your API internally. There is no issue because you're hitting the API directly, and this Swagger is of that APIs only. But when you are hitting the API from another environment, this Angular is an entirely a different environment. Okay, so the thing is, when you are coming from a different so, source or different place, that's a possible. That's a possible place to place for attack. Okay, so basically anyone can attack this source. That's what the cause says. Basically, when when you are hitting an API from a different environment or different application or any different place from a different place, there's a possibility of an attack which has to be stopped. So that's why always an .NET Core enables cross, so it does not allow cross origin request. Okay, you see, you are able to hit the API. API comes here, like your request comes here, but it does not returns back. That's the thing. So that's why if you see the request, it says 200 okay, but it throws an error of saying cross origin resource sharing. Okay, so we have to what we have to do is wait, we have to install course. Uh, I already have course. What we'll do is we'll do in backend processing. Wait, we have to add this URL there. Okay, 1 second.
Hmm.
One second, I forgot how I was using the cars, so that's why I'm checking. Something I did. Mm, Okay, so now it is supporting cars. No, now we have to do one more thing. What we have to do is, hmm. so so this is one more step we have to do. So we have made the APIs to accept the cost, that is cross origin, and like I'm saying, allow the origin. So we have to do one more thing in API, which is we have to configure it. So go to your program, map controllers. We have already done endpoint map controllers. Uh, use routing. It's done. Use authorization is done. Authentication. Can try this. One second. After routing, we should do the authentication. Yes. Uh, authentication, do the authorization. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We'll try testing this. Okay. See, now this itself gives you an solution. It says that configure application startup by adding app.useCause in the application start code. If there's calls to use routing and use endpoints, which is the map routing that we are doing, so it should be between them. So basically, it's after it. So the place where you place it also depends. Okay. So after routing only, you should do the authentication. After authentication only, you should do the uh, use authorization. Okay. So
Okay.
I want to see whether we are using that here. Actually, we are using it. This is after routing. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, now it's working. No, let's wait. Let's the front end load. We'll see the front end. Okay, see, in the meantime, I will tell you what I have done. So basically, I have so without a cause, your cross origin will not work. Okay, because your .NET Core is designed to secure your APIs from attacks. Okay, basically this is what we call it as HSRF. You if I don't know whether your company is doing that. Like basically, in products, what we do is when we develop an application, before releasing into production, we'll put that application into an tool. Okay, there are many tools in market now. So we'll put that into that tool. So basically, that tool will run and set off security uh, checks over the application. Okay, so it will run security check over the application, and it will tell you the possible ways of attacks that that can happen in that particular code. Okay, it will check the code line by line, and it will give a list of attacks, and we have to fix those places. Actually, HSRF, CSRF, it will give um, SQL exceptions, SQL endpoint, SQL memory issues, SQL attacks. So everything will be given in that tool. So basically, this HSRF, CSRF, and all will happen there. So when you are not giving any, basically, so to avoid that, .NET Core basically it itself gives that course thing. Like basically, it will not allow any external URL. Okay, so this API cannot be hit from external URL. To enable that, you have to basically enable the cause. Okay, so you have to enable the cause, and you have to say allow origin, and then in its program use an use cause, and you have to add these things basically. This is important. After routing, you should use the cause. After that, do an authentication and then authorization. Okay, so this is the order you should put in, because you are doing the routing. What is routing? You are receiving the request, and request is sent to the what routing means. It will route. No, it will send to the particular controller and particular method. That is routing. And when it has to reach the particular method, I am saying that, hey, enable, I have enabled the car, so that cross origin should be fine. I am saying, then I am saying do the authentication and authorization. You know what is authentication and authorization? No? Basically, authentication means whether you have the permission. Authorization means whether you have the role to role after having the permission, whether you have the role, that particular role to access that particular API. So I'm saying that I'm using all these things, approving it, then only it goes inside. Okay. So
Okay.
that's the thing. Any questions?
No.
Now we'll see how that looks. Expect, go to network. Okay. I'm having the error. I need to see again. Hmm. But here it's working, no? It's working here. Okay. Then 1 second. Hmm. So if your breakpoint is not working, we have to do all these things. Put console only to check. I'm checking if my data comes here. Okay. Go to inspect, go to console. See, it's not coming there, no? So it is not at all returning. So that's the thing. Mm, still, it's blocked by cause. Why? more thing. Wait. Okay. Uh, 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 Wait, I'm going to do something else. No, any origin. Not so any header. Dot allow any method. Okay. So basically, I'm saying that allow any origin. I'm saying in cost allow any header, anything, any request that incomes allow it. Okay. 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. One. Sorry. I still have this no. Just that I'm not doing. I'm missing something, but I'm not sure what is that I'm not doing. Mm, let's do this also. Yes. Okay. Now it works. Okay, we have fixed it. Finally. See, the test URL has run, and it brings the data. See, this is the output. Can you see
Okay.
this?
Yes, yes.
So the thing that what I have done, I will tell you everything. First, in the controller, I have enabled the cause. Okay. So in the controller, I have enabled the cause. In program, first, actually, I had to add the cause that I never did until the last thing I did. So you have to add the cause. Okay. This is the add cause. I will even paste it for your reference. And then you have to use the course here. I just tried it because I wanted to add, but instead of adding I added here, but you can just use the course. These are the changes that we have done, so that it works basically. So if you see so the API works fine. Okay, so now what we are going to do, any questions on this?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to, let's see if the data is null. I'm doing something else. I should do something else on that. I'll show you. Okay, console.log. We'll save this and see. So how the data comes from my backend to your front end. See, it comes as an array. Can you see? This is how your data comes to your front end. Okay.
Okay.
So this uh, we have to bind it to your view, basically your HTML page. Okay. So here it is, there is no concept of binding and all. Okay, like basically it's not like okay, you have the data, you should basically binding it with in MVC. It's a different task how to bind your model into your uh, HTML, you know? So here it's not like that. Let's say this is the data, no, this data, no, you can simply directly call the data in your HTML. That's what, that will have the array. You can just call the data in your HTML and it will have the array. Okay. Let me show you an quick example, so which that they have already done. So in this same page they have a forecast. Okay, so forecast data that is being displayed. Okay, the same thing. So they are calling an API. That API gives us a result. Same way, no, we are calling an API that gives us a result. That's data. That's the data that's being. That's the array. Okay, they are also having the array. No, you can see the response. So this is the array table. Okay, this is the data that is coming. Okay, same way we also have no. See, we have rows, four rows, and each row has like a day. Each columns like user ID, first name, last name, middle name, or columns, right? Same way they also get the data. Okay, what they're doing, they simply assign it to an object. Okay, and that object is basically they have put it as forecast, and forecast they're saying it's an array. Okay, how to declare an array here? We'll do declare an array. Yeah, okay, so you can put it public, or you can directly assign it to an variable. Let's say I'm going to assign it to a variable here. So this is some, I'll say get data. That's all. So any means it will accept anything. So if you have, you can, I told you know, you can create an model also here in your front end. Basically, so we have created it in the same page. Put it as an interface, um, or you can put it as a class, whichever you want. Both acts as the same, and then you can create the model. This is how you create a model, no, in your backend also. Here you can create a model very simply, straightforward in the same page, or you can put a separate TS file that we have already seen in our previous classes. How to create a model in your front end? You can just simply put in another folder called models, and inside that you can create TS files, and inside TS files you can just put a class. That's all, class and all your um, properties. That's all. So either you can have a model and assign the object to a model. So the same way that you do in your C sharp, no, when you create an model, and if an object is a type of that model, basically you just assign it to that model. No, same way here. Else you can put it any will accept anything. That's all. So now what I am doing is I'm going to assign this to this dot get data is equal to data. That's all. Now I use this data directly in my HTML. Same way they have done, no? The forecast dot date, forecast dot temperature. See, that's all. And this is a small changes that you can see here. Okay. First, you can see everything is same, right? Uh, Paragraph, heading H1, even table, thread, TR. TR means row, TH means header. Again, no, and then body will put tr again row, td means data. So these are all very same, no, it's almost it's very similar, no, these are all you'll be similar, but only here you'll see the difference. And even here, if you see in MVC you'll put a for loop, right? Here, then instead of normal for loop we'll use an ng for is angular for, that's all. So how you use an so in this page itself we have two things. So how you use an for here, it's very simple. The syntax is hash ng capital for equal to, so let's say I want to loop through, let's loop through our data and see. Okay, so the get data is our data. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to loop through the get data. So what I can do, I can simply directly call the get data. How do you do for each? Same way. For each you do the same way, in C sharp. For each you like let's say string, yeah, let's say a string, the string name in, and you give the array name. That's the for each, no? Same we are going to do. And let's say I'll put it's let h of get data. So h dot, you should give the column names very correctly. So I'll put user ID first. user ID, first name, x dot first name. Even see, this is case sensitive. Your Angular is case sensitive. Even if a single letter is wrong, it will not pull in. Okay, x dot last name and middle name. Okay, so what I'm doing is I am doing an ng for let x of get data. So I'm taking every row, and in Angular, to print any data, basically to print any data that is coming from your dynamic, any dynamic data, just remember that to print any dynamic data, it should be inside the double curly braces. Okay, to print any dynamic data, it should be inside the double curly braces. So let's do this. See, it comes here, else data has the data. See, uh, can you see this? It's having the, it's printing the date, our data.
Yes.
Do you have any questions on this?
No.
All good, no? So basically, now you have a basic idea of how the data can be directly called inside the HTML, no?
Yes.
So this is ng for, and if you want to use ng, the if condition means it's directly star ng if, and inside this you can put any condition, true or false condition, basically greater than or equal to, all these you can put inside this double quotation. Okay,
Okay.
so if forecast not forecast, what they are telling is basically forecast ng if no, forecast if not true. Well, if false, you have to put the loading. That's what they're saying. So if I say that, see, this td or ng if equal to, here if I put any condition means, let's say any condition means this td will be displayed only if the condition is true. So that's why I'm putting in the td, the condition inside the td. Okay, so
Okay.
you can toggle it as wherever you need. Let's say this user id should be displayed only if there is data in the user id. What you will do, we'll put a span. Okay, and all, you know, no, they are all existing a C sharp functionality only. Span is something that it's like an container. It holds the data. Okay, inside that you can put the data. So in the span, I'll put the ngif. Ngif thing gets dot user id. See here, I am not going to display the data, so I am using the h dot user id without the curly braces. Only when you display the data, you should use the curly braces. Okay, id not equal to null. Only if it is not equal to null, this will have the display. Else, it will be empty. Have you understood?
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
So I want you to try these things, like get the data, use the costings and all. I have given you that. If you have any doubts, you can just put a message in the WhatsApp. Get the data and use the table to display the data. Okay,
Okay.
first, and try you doing the ngif and all wherever you like to, like different conditions. Do different condition. Basically, let's say, see, I want you to do this. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. So you have the table, no? See, in the this is middle name. So middle name, I have two empty columns, no? So I want you to write a condition. If it is empty means put some other name. If it is empty, put some other name. Use a span and ng. If empty, if middle name is empty, I want you to display some other name. Okay, in the table. Then you can hear me.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So if it is empty, put some other name. This is the basic table actually, but uh, I want you to try the basic table. We'll build and separate a page with a proper table. We have a proper table, like proper way of putting columns and tables. This is basic way of putting columns and tables. So I showed you for a basic understanding of how HTML works. So you will not see any difference at all. The only thing is you can directly use the variable from your TS page. That's all, because both the pages are already binded. Okay, you did the binding here. This way you are done with the binding. So any object, any variable in this page, you can directly use it into your HTML. That's all. You can directly use it. Okay.
Okay.
So first try this. We'll put a and see you have a proper project architecture. Okay, so you have college and inside which you have department and all. So first try with some department thing. Okay, department data. So later what we'll do is we'll properly create a uh, in that get page we'll properly create a table. Okay, we'll replace this with a proper table. Okay,
Okay.
table is fine. Inside this, this is an simplest way of creating a table. But instead of this, I will show you another way. Okay. So what all you can do in HTML here is basically table, uh, text boxes, drop down. I will show you. Okay, text boxes, drop down. Text box is same code as you done in MVC. That's no difference. But yeah, I will show you that also. Text box, drop down. What else we have? Checkbox. This all we'll see. Okay, we'll see quickly. Not that complicated. They are all very similar. You'll see them. I'll show you them in the next class. Okay, but I want you to try this. We'll create an. What we'll do is we'll create a. We are going to this way we'll do. We'll create a search page. Okay, the page will have the text box and all. Drop down. You have to select the put in data and hit on search, and that will go to your database, get the data and display it in your another result page. Okay, this we will do. Okay,
Okay.
but for that you first you try this one. Okay. Okay, I think we are good now. So yeah, we'll meet tomorrow. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.